that have trudged out here since the morning. I've been getting calls all over since before 8 o'clock even. Before the arrival of the INEC people have been massed here waiting to vote. And this is the same thing all over the state. Two fundamental things. The fundamental point is that the collapse. That is this Bvas technology of a thing, complete failure so far. If it is going to be rectified, that will still be in minutes or hours to come. And by almost 12:30 in the day, voting is yet to start in most of the polling units in the state. And then for the few places where they are doing, technology that I understand ought to take seconds to accredit someone takes 20 minutes, some 30, some 5, and so on. I mean, with the crowd that you can find here, hundreds of persons here, you don't need to be a mathematician to know that even if you start the talking now, we've been standing here for the last 15 minutes, 20, waiting for them to fix it. Even if it takes a minute to accredit each person within the record time. So it raises fundamental questions about the technology. I'm quite a bit shocked, in shock to hear this. And this is all over the state, Getting calls from virtually every local government without exception about the glitches and the fact that people are not voting. Places where you have 800 or 900 people there, you will probably have 5, 6 that have voted so far. So the fundamental problem that is being tried here in Anambra, it just hasn't worked up to this minute. Maybe, only maybe, we'll still keep being optimistic. We were here for, where are they? They are gone inside to go and try. For 20 minutes, the technician, who is supposed to be the expert to fix it, has been fiddling with it. Nowhere. Technology. The second one is the inadequacy of INEC staff to man the polling units across the state. There's hardly any word that there are INEC officials in all the polling units. There's hardly any now that I can that I have been told. In fact, there is one or two care. There are supposed to be 17 polling units. Only 5. In only 5 that you have INEC officials. So in 17 others, nobody shows up. And then there is the fundamental thing also about the security. As you can see, you don't find a single policeman here. And that is also widespread around the state. In Ihiala, actually, the local government, the latest report I have is that the materials haven't even left the local government, let alone get into the racks and then to the polling units, and as the case may be. And for me, as I'm a diehard optimist, I still need to say if we can have water out of the stone, so to speak. I believe I'm a process person, very confident about the process. The INEC chairman assured us about the robustness of this new technology that somewhere for a rerun of a state assembly, but it's a very small location, depending on how the network is in the place. And so fiddling, fundamental thing they were complaining about was network. Access to network, you get whether Airtel, no, this one is slow, you bring the other one. Just trying to upgrade the technology, it were, and up until now it hasn't. To 1 o'clock in the day, there's people who have been waiting since 7:30, hundreds of them still haven't voted. So Where do we go from here? My message to all our supporters, around hundreds of thousands, over a million of them around the state, that have enthusiastically this day. I say, let's be patient. Let's be patient. They told us it is going to work, and I am patient. And I'll wait, let them fix it. But whenever we start, whenever the machines begin to work, let's make sure we cast our vote. And then to INEC, and then my message to them is, please, please, please fix the technology. It still does not work up until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then fundamental question as to what time will the voting actually end if we haven't even started in a polling booth like mine, where you can see voters, filling all over this place and outside. Some have come, some said they want to go and eat and then come back. If we start by 1 p.m., for example, when will the voting stop? It's a fundamental question, and for the credibility of the entire process and legitimacy of the outcome. I'm waiting, and I want to see that it is working, and I want the people voting seamlessly before I cast mine. All through the morning, I have been receiving calls. I've been calming people down all over the state. Please calm down. Let's wait and trust that to the occasion. But so far, it hasn't worked.
A lot of people predicted voter apathy, but from what you have seen around all the plotting and all of that, say something about the enthusiasm of the people.
I can. People have been prepared to vote. Yes, they've been talking about voter. The reports I have gotten around the state, people have actually trunched out to vote. I'm pretty sure that if the technology was working, by now hundreds of thousands would have voted.
All right, that was Chukwuma Soludo of Apga speaking on his experiences in Ofi region in Anambra State. And of course, we're looking at Mr. Maduka, one of the governorship candidates, also trying to cast his vote and speaking to reporters and observers.
I want the people's mandate. I don't want, you want legitimacy. You don't want to have power without legitimacy. And it is only the voice of the people that confers legitimacy. And I'm still optimistic and hopeful.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
sir.
Yeah.
Okay, we just heard from the candidates of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. He highlighted key points: technology, and we're still waiting because nothing is working here. But the patience
and deployment.
Yeah.
By INEC officials. There are 3 points we made. Fundamental technology. Second, the presence of and deployment of security personnel. And the third, the logistics deployment by INEC. That there are many wards still without polling the officers. I mean, many polling units, like I gave you an example, Uke, ward, 17 polling units, and there are only 5 polling units where you have INEC officials. In the 12 others, none. And you find this replete all over the place. And I think we're still hopeful that INEC will rise up to the occasion. Thank you.